I just want to clarify for our audience, when we're mentioning CMHC's new rule, it was something that they came out with at the end of last month, which basically said you are only allowed to, it restricted the way that you could refinance. You could use your refinance capital using a CMHC loan. So they're saying that now any money that you pull out has to go directly into capital expenditures, buying a new building, basically expanding or improving the housing situation. And you can't just use it as your personal piggy bank at a low interest rate. So that's one thing. It kind of is. I don't know if that's going to have a huge impact on the market. My early sense is no, but what do you think about that, Jason?
It's interesting because I saw the blurb, and often when you see these headlines, you got to read through the details to figure out what exactly is going on. That was the opposite. It was like, headline is exactly what CMHC is doing, and I was sort of taken aback. Really? So if I own a 100-unit building and have no debt against it, and it's in Toronto, and it's, and I want to take $5 million against it, let's just say, with CMHC for 5 years, and go buy something else, I can't do it? I mean, it makes no sense to me, right?
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
concerned about it. Well, why? I'm not investing in the building.
If it's housing.
Buy a shopping center at a discount. Yeah. Those are trading pretty low, and I'm going to be opportunistic, right? Or I'm going to go buy an apartment building in Vancouver. I mean, it makes no sense. But that's what they're saying. Now, I don't suspect that ultimately maybe they'll clarify it. I don't know. And I think that the non-CMHC lending market would step up to do a 25% LTV or lower deal with the borrower, I would think. But where that would impact is, a lot of, call it groups, entrepreneurs, et cetera, they made their mark in this industry by doing exactly that, by rolling up their sleeves, acquiring a building at an aggressive price, working hard, getting the rent roll on turnover and otherwise, a lot better, and refining out their equity with lower cost capital, with a higher rent roll. So now you can't do that anymore. I mean, I think even institutionally, some of those guys are gonna, because that was their business plan to their investors, right? And I don't think it matters if it's a $10 million deal or a $100 million deal. If you're using your own capital or you're bringing someone else in, that may put a sting to that. Ultimately, though, if the mechanics of the deal, and the financial performance makes sense, there's going to be secondary capital, Garrett. You'll tell me that to fill that void. But it's not going to cost 2%, right? So, I assume HC being conservative on that. Yeah, they don't want some guy to run away with an asset with the cash after they've appreciated it and walk away because they have negative equity in it or whatever. I understand that component. But, I suppose recourse is a factor as well. But that was something I was slightly alarmed by. But at the same time, my understanding is CMHC has, and I've seen a few trades, by the way, reported, not deals that I'm familiar with. There were a couple power of sale deals that non-real estate people brought to my attention saying, look at this, great deal, power of sale, 100 units here. And I'm like, I don't think that's pandemic related, man. That's just set in a bad area that the lender took over, unfortunately. So, but I've seen some trades that I think, as you said, have strengthened even from last year, but certainly solidified where we are. And CMHC is, I think, provided a lot of liquidity to the market, and that's the key. That's the key in the Fed. That's the key in Bank of Canada, liquidity, so that people can do deals. So as long as they continue to do that, I don't think you're going to see a tremendous change in the effects on the market. But especially considering so many of my understanding, transactions are by the gigantic institutions. So, yeah. But I mean, if a group of investors are looking at a deal and they're pro-forming a takeout in 3 years, and now CMHC saying no, hard to say, right?